Good event planners know that you constantly need to come up with fresh and unique decorative ideas. And today we see that many family gatherings are following the same trends. At SelfCAD, we help our users stay on top of tech, innovation, and design. So today we will show you how you can create an incredible snack bar presentation with the help of 3D printing. Interested? Well, let's do it together. When you create a 3D model, you can use additive and subtractive techniques. For this object, we will use subtractive modeling. We will start by creating the biggest part. We will size and position it correctly before we move on with the subtracting process. So let's get started. Open the sphere generator, set a radius of 64 and set the max horizontal segments so it looks nice and smooth, and click apply. Then scale down the height to 64 to flatten the model. Then use the move tool to position it in the center. As you can see, we use the same value of 64 for the original sphere and now for the scaling as well. And that's because the initial value was in radius while scaling uses size. This means that the size of 64 is the same as a radius of 32, hence making the height half the size from the other two dimensions. Now to shape the object into a ball, we will use the subtraction method. For this, we will create a copy and place it a little higher than the original. I will use the copy offset from the tool section, set Y to 5 and click apply. This will create a copy that is already placed in the appropriate position. Then select both objects, open Stitch and Scoop, select the difference tool and choose our new copy in the drop-down. I'm satisfied with the results, so let's rename this part to ball. To shape the snack organizer into the final shape, open the bend tool, set the X value to 15 and then repeat and set X to -22. As you can see, we first bend the object on one side and then into the other, and because I used bend on an already bent object, it creates such an interesting effect. I think the height should be bigger, so I'm scaling it to 60. The basic shape is done, but to make our model stand well, we need a flat bottom. For this, open the flatten tool and drag up the Y gizmo a bit. Then use the move tool to center the object again. Next, we need to make our model thicker. For this, choose the add thickness tool, set 1, and click the preview tool to see how it looks. And as it looks great, click apply and our first part is ready. Now we will create two interchangeable parts for the sauce. First we will model the fastenings. For this, use a cube with measurement 25 width, 50 height and 30 length and position it here. Then make a copy of it and set Y to 0. Then select both objects, open Stitch and Scoop, select the intersection tool and click apply. Intersection allows you to leave only those parts of the objects that are crossed and delete the other parts. And since we used the add thickness tool before, we can now cut out perfectly a suitable fastening. Now we need to adjust it a bit so it will fit nicely after printing. And for this we need to scale it a little with Keep Proportion option on, set X to 30 and switch off Keep Proportion and set Z to 20 and move and rotate to position it. The exact position and rotation angles isn't important as we will print each part separately. And we are done with the fastening. Now let's create a cute little sauce spot. For this we will use similar techniques to how we created the ball. Create the sphere with 16 radius and apply. Then choose the isolate option to hide all other objects except the selected one and scale this sphere to the Y26 so we make it a little bit more flat and then move it to the center. Now we need to hollow out the object so it looks like a pot. For this, use copy offset tool and set Y to 3. Select both objects and apply difference. Then make a copy of it and hide it for now. We will customize it later. Now select the visible part and add thickness of 1. Then activate the inflate tool and drag down the Y gizmo to reshape the bottom. And move the object up to Y58. Then click Show All Objects to see what we have made so far. Next up we will create the handle. Let's start with a cube. Set width to 25, height to 60 and length to 5 and apply. Choose the fastening and rename it to connector or something similar, and rename the other parts as well. Now select the first handle, open the Align tool and choose connector as reference and set top in the drop down and apply. Then move it up a bit to the right position. Now activate the taper tool and set X to -50 to narrow the top part of the object. I will need two handles that are similar to each other, so I will first add the basic details and finalize it after I make a copy of it. I want to add a logo, but you can skip this step. Click the Image to 3D tool and choose your logo. For my image, I need the following settings: flip background, which inverts the cut, and anti-aliasing setting to make the object smoother. I'm setting the amount to 6, resolution to 250, and tolerance to 0.9, and blur to 3. And click Apply. Your settings may be different depending on what image you are using. Then use Scale with Keep Proportion, set X to 35 and move it here. Then rotate it by 90 on the Z-axis and then use Align with Handle 1 as the reference, set middle and front and apply, then move it here. Let's first rename those parts. Now I want to apply bend, but as you can see it is not bending as expected. Such things happen when you don't have enough polygons. Let's inspect and see the difference. As you can see, the logo has a lot of edges, while the other part has only 8 segments. To fix this, select the handle and apply resolution with an amount of 6. You can see how the grid has changed. And now we can apply bend, but before doing it, I will make a copy and hide them. I will also rename them. Now let's taper it with the value of -50 on the Z-axis. Next, apply bend, make it look like this, and apply bend again to make the bend angle bigger. Then adjust the pot position. To make the handle look more interesting, apply twist with the value of 25. But as you can see, we have a problem. To fix this, I will move it a little, select all 3 objects and apply merge. So we have one solid object. Then choose Cube Selection tool and select all except the bottom. So when we apply twist, we will not move those polygons. Let's try. Apply the twist and it looks amazing. Now unselect and copy the connector. Then select these and apply merge and rename it. Now let's move on to the second part. Let's unhide the copies we created before. Then we'll scale, add thickness and inflate to customize the second soft spot. For this design, we will create a bulkhead using drawing. And to make the workspace into a drawing canvas, I will set top view and orthographic projection. Now choose the freehand drawing and select the front back plane. Let me first show you how they work. And now for this we will turn off the other planes and leave only the front back plane, which is what we need. I will also leave the default center position so it's drawing directly where we need them. Now unhide the pot and activate the spline brush with 10 as smoothness and set 3 as height and start drawing around the shape. Then click finalize. The shape looks good, so now let's select both objects and merge them. Then move by 58 on the y-axis and rotate by 90 on the y-axis as well. Now unhide the ball and the other handle and apply bend. Then select the connector with the handle and position them correctly. So simple. We have created a ball with 2 different handles. Now we can print it and use it for every day. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and ring the bell for any updates. Thanks for watching.